In today's first episode, we'll be placing $1,000 of bets that the Bitcoin bottom is in. 60,000 is the bottom. I'm calling it here, and just stay with me to see how we go about it. We're gonna choose to use different crypto trading platforms. As our prediction market, we'll be using Polymarket, and as our perpetual futures trading platform, we'll be using Hyperliquid. I preloaded each of these platforms with a bit of over $500 earlier today, so right now we're able to just jump straight into it. I want to start by going into our Polymarket first, so I can explain a bit about my thesis and why I really think this 60,000 might be the bottom. If we go into the price chart, we can see that during the last month we had a rough time. We went all the way up to 82,000, and then we crashed down all the way to 59,000-ish, 60,000. But when we touch those prices, and we have done it twice recently, we touched it a couple months back when the Iran war went to hell, and now we did it once again with this rotation of capital that is going into the AI infrastructure that has made it for a lot of the Bitcoin liquidity to be pulled out of its system. So since when the price gets anywhere near 60,000, a lot of buyers start coming in, I feel fairly confident to start placing some bets as if the blood was on the streets. Let's go through the Polymarket and see how many options they present to us to try to be able to express this idea. So what price will Bitcoin hit in June? This is a straight up banger. We are trying to decide that the Bitcoin price won't be going lower, so I'm sure we'll have an option over here. Over these next few markets, we see they are short dated, so June 19th, June 18th, June 21st. I'm not interested in these three because they're from the next 3 days, and there's really not much more profit to be pulled out from the safe strikes. So the up and down daily, I'm not interested in today, at least. When will Bitcoin hit 150,000? This definitely catches my eye. Up and down 4 hours, no interest to us. June 19th. Here we have some Bitcoin topics, but are not related to the expression of a bottom, like Satoshi. Will Satoshi move Bitcoin? He won't, but we're not getting in there. Bitcoin all-time high. This is a good one for us. Up and down 15-minute markets, no interested. Satoshi's identity won't be proven, but we're not going to be making bets on that. We're not interested in China's economic policy, nor the bankruptcy of MicroStrategy, even though that won't happen either. They're very well prepared on their capital stack, but an 8% chance for the next 6 months is not something I want to do right now. The best month, we're not trying to guess. Implied volatility, not our topic. Bankruptcies against gold, that could have sort of kind of expressed the idea, but I'm not gonna get into it this episode. So as I scroll through this, I see there's no more options. What we chose to open is what we'll be placing the first almost $600 of bets on today. So we can see that the bet is what price will Bitcoin hit in June. That leaves us 12 days of runway. Let's read the rules. That is important. This market will result to yes if any Binance candle for this pair during the month specified, meaning June, has a price higher, equal, or greater to the price specified in the title. Otherwise, the market will result to no. So, we see there's a big gap here in the middle between the 67,000 strike and the 57,000 strike. This means all this medium range has been hit already and it's not bettable anymore. I don't like my most aggressive trade will be this one, because if I'm saying that the Bitcoin bottom is on the 60,000, there's like a heavy buying pressure on the 59,000, 58,000. I really feel I'll go aggressive on this one. We'll be placing $200 to make 66 of profit if during the next 12 days Bitcoin does not touch the price of 57,500 or lower. So let's go ahead and do that. The position is bought, and here are our shares. Congratulations for our first trade of this episode. I want to take following that same thought pattern. I'll take the safer side of the bet, and I'll place 150 on the $55,000 strike, because if I feel it won't touch 57.5, then that's just like a little bit on the safer side for still 13% return. That's like a percent a day for the next 12 days. I'll take my chances on there. Okay. This same market has a strike for the January 1st, 2027. This is interesting because we can place a long bet by this side, because it's what price will Bitcoin hit on the next almost 6 months of the year. So we already hit 80,000 a couple weeks back, a month back, up to 6 weeks back. So let's say this will happen again. We'll be placing $100 on that. We have $112 left. We just placed a safe bet for the rest of the month. We just placed a long bet for the rest of the year. Let's go on. When will Bitcoin hit $150,000? I do not like this bet, and I'll tell you why. So if you look at these two bets side by side, they are a fairly similar bet, but with a big nuance. So we have the same date. We have December 31st. Bitcoin all-time high is around $126,000. And the other bet is, when will Bitcoin hit 150,000? So there's a $24,000 difference between the implied price of winning this bet of the all-time high buy against the hitting the Bitcoin 150,000. The price difference is a cent. So it makes no sense to me that the market will be pricing that there's a cent difference for $24,000 of difference between this being hit and this being hit. So I find this Bitcoin $50,000 bet very expensive, and I won't be taking it. I feel there's no good expected value out of there, and we'll be staying with this longer bet and try to still analyze it a bit. The graph for how this bet has behaved throughout time, it started, let's see, back in December we were already off all-time highs, maybe by 90,000-ish, 95,000-ish, and the all-time high was 26,000, and there were between at its peak, what is this, a 50% chance of it going back to all-time high. Time has passed by. All the holders of this bet have had a rough year, but is it time for a rebound? I mean, that's what we're trying to figure out, right? If we choose to place this bet for the Bitcoin all-time high, we're basically choosing on a very far out of the money option with a 6 months expiration date. That is almost a lottery ticket. but my thesis is bullish momentum will continue, and I think bullish momentum could be even stronger on the second half of the year. So we'll be placing a $60 bet on that. If it went through, let's see if it went through. It did. Beautiful. That leaves us with about $60 else. Let's see. Let's find a new bet to With the $50 left, we'll be placing another bullish bet. We'll be placing another bullish bet, but we'll be placing it a bit on the safer side, okay? We'll be doing 75,000 for that maximum. That is 48.13. Let's see. No. Okay. Okay. Finally, we got our positions open for Polymarket. We have spent the capital, and now we hold all these different strikes. Let's go on to Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid will be way faster. Hyperliquid is this perpetual trading platform where there have many different pairs of Bitcoin and different crypto assets and pairs. We have $555 here that we'll be choosing to place some leverage on. When you're using leverage, like I do, that I won't be using a stop loss in this specific moment, we are basically betting that the price won't go against us a certain amount. So we can choose to be very aggressive and go all the way to 40, but if price crashes 2% against you, you're wiped out. You can do 20% and have a 5% protection. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to be a bit more cautious, a bit safer. This is a series. We want to make it for a long run. I want you to stay week on week, seeing the progress on how we're doing. So I feel at the 60,000 price, a 20% upside here would be 72,000. A 20% downside would be 48,000. I don't see us reaching 48,000. I feel fairly confident to place this bet, and I'll be doing so. I feel 5x is fair. I won't say safe, but I would say fair for today's episode, and we'll be doing 50% of our balance on that trade. We'll go long in there at the market price, and we'll be executing something similar on my favorite stock, which is basically Bitcoin. If I were to take this trade on MicroStrategy, I would be betting that it won't wick down to 94. But if Bitcoin is volatile, MicroStrategy is way more volatile. So I'll lower my leverage even a bit further down in here. I'll just go for a 3x. Let's see where that leaves us. Let's adjust a bit. 78. I feel fairly certain MicroStrategy won't be going to $80. That would be a very underpriced MicroStrategy. So let's buy along here. We have used the $1,000 today. The bets have been placed. Hyperliquid is gonna be holding for us some leverage longs on Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. These are gonna be perpetual, so we'll be looking closely at them. And on the other side, we have Polymarket, where we chose to spread our risk between some longer dated bets on the bullish momentum, like the all-time high by the end of the year, or reaching 75,000 again before December, and these closer side bets of the next 12 days for the month. So I hope you enjoyed it. I love talking about Bitcoin, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. It was pretty fun getting to see all the different platforms and contracts and being able to put some money where our mouth is. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and we'll see how our portfolio develops. Thanks for your time.